Here to the Smash Sports Show right here on Smash FM here on a lockdown Monday here in Melbourne. Of course, let's continue with netball in particular and continue our Premiership series we've had in this past couple of weeks. But let's go to the Riverina area, of course, of New South Wales, a beautiful part of Australia in particular. And of course, they just had their grand final last weekend, just gone. And of course, it was between the MCUE Goannas and the Wagga Tigers in the A-grade grand final. Funny enough, both teams played I think they also played in the A reserves grand final the game before as well. And of course, both teams split the grand final but the most important one was the A-grade grand final. And of course, that means the Goannas got the Tigers on that day as well. And of course, we got a very special guest on the show because we actually had on the show about a month ago now, because when we had actually interviewed from the Falcons side of things. And of course, she mentioned on that interview that, of course, she expected her team to make the grand final. That happened. And of course, she might have said they might have won the Premiership as well. And of course, they did do that as well. Of course, her name's Vashti. She joins us right now. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me, Sam. Appreciate it.
What is MCUE stand for everyone who have no idea what it is?
It's a bit of a tongue twister, but you can get it out. So it's Mangapla East Lakes Cookadinia United. United Cookadinia. Yeah, so it's a bit of a mush. Lots of 3 different little small towns that all come together to play a bit of football and netball. It
was on live stream, so it was a huge crowd out there. I think the game was played in Wagga in the grand final. I guess, firstly, tell us a bit about the season leading up to the final series.
So we finished on top, lucky enough for us. So we come away getting that first final. We got a second chance. So we come up against Wagga Tigers in the first finals there. It was actually a bit of an interesting game. So we've been pretty lucky to being able to play all our games and come out on top quite comfortably. But Wagga Tigers had just got us, for the whole game we were down except for the last 4 minutes. We were able to climb back and beat them by 1, sending us straight to the grand final. So that was nice. We had a week off and then we were, obviously met them again back in the grand final. So, yeah.
You mentioned about the second semi-final against Wagga Tigers. 2 weeks before. I guess tell us a bit about that game. You mentioned that you were trailing for most of that game. When did you felt that you had that game and obviously had a chance to go on to the grand final?
We obviously we got out there and we had a debrief after our game and we all agreed that we didn't play our game. We were definitely just playing their game. I caught myself doing it a couple times because it was obviously we finished top. We got that second chance. So it crossed my mind, got a bit hard and a bit hot out there. I kind of just might have said, we've got a second chance. No need to really go hard for the ball. But you've got to just change your mindset and make sure that, you come out harder, wanting that ball more than them. So I don't know, we've just got that last maybe quarter, we started picking up then, figuring out, trying to play our game. They didn't play, they chucked their positions. We probably shouldn't take on, should be playing our own game.
Now, you had the week off. Of course, obviously, Wagga Tigers had to play the prelim to get to the grand final. What did you do in the week off? And did anyone go out to see the prelim final and see how that game panned out? And did you end up surprised that you end up versing Wagga in the grand final?
Yes, so we got the week off. We had plans, so our A-Res team also got straight into the grand final. So we were able to create a practice match where we played each other. So that was really helpful, keeping in our court fitness, game fitness, I should say, and not having that week off was like, yeah, didn't impact our bodies too much, which was really good. We made an effort for the whole team to go watch Osborne Football Club versus Wagga Tigers. I honestly wasn't too fussed with who I played. I do know that I felt that Wagga Tigers were the stronger team, but in saying that, I still feel like we're playing against them. Osborne can be a bit unpredictable, which actually kind of scares me. I'd rather play on a really good player than someone who you just don't know what to expect from them. So that was really handy. That was a good game that they put up, nice and warm in this finals weather. So it definitely tested them. But yeah, it was good just to have that view off the court instead of like being on the court. It's a totally different view, and
you mentioned about that prelim final. Obviously, you all make the concerted effort to go and see that prelim final between Osborne Park and Wagga Tigers. I guess tell us a bit about that prelim final, and was there any part of that prelim final that you just thought, that you had the Tigers measure when it came to the grand final a week later?
It was pretty interesting. That's a really good question, actually. Watching it, it was a totally different game. I think the umpires had a big impact on it, so it kind of changed it up. This was in the prelim final I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And it seemed to be, I don't know, just a bit more of a very physical game. So we went into last week's, like our grand final game, expecting that physicality, and they gave us that. So it was a bit of an insight to have a look at Tigers in that way. But yeah, no, it was just, I don't know, I'm not normally one to really study my players, but it was really good just being able to watch and seeing what works and what doesn't work, and even just looking at what the little things that my shooter did. Yeah, it was just really good to look at it that way.
Okay, well, let's fast forward another week to the grand final, which happened on the weekend there at Wagga. Obviously, you knew your opponents. Obviously, I'm assuming they knew how you were going to play, for the fact that you only played 2 weeks before in the second semi-final. I guess, how was it like turning up to the courts, I should say? And I guess, how was the grand final feeling like walking onto that court, knowing that there's tons of fans around? Obviously, the A reserves played in their grand final the game before, and obviously, but look at the live stream. There was a packed crowd there at Wagga.
There was. They did so well because we've had to go by the laws, obviously, by COVID, but they were so good. They were still able to get us all in and make sure we were still seated apart. But, the crowd was unreal. It was an interesting day going in. Normally, I'm someone who carries a lot of nerves. So that was really, I didn't have any nerves. I stepped onto that court and I was just excited to play. So I think that kind of scared me a bit. But yeah, I don't know. It was an interesting feeling going on, and having our A-Res just lost just before can be a bit of a motivation for them. I think we took it on as motivation too, to try and prove to them that they can have one and we get one and two. So coming onto that court was unreal. I loved it. They even had big banners for us, and the crowd was up and about. So it was a great day for a great finish to a day too.
Actually watched your live stream game because it was live streamed on, of course, on the AFL River Arena social media, and I actually examined your game. Not your game personally, but obviously the team's game. And I thought the one thing that you did really well, I felt, in that grand final, was the way that you were really patient in regards to playing the game and sort of find plays open on the court and picking off Wagga Tigers' weaknesses. Was that something that you felt throughout the game?
Yeah, definitely. Kind of attack with Tigers because they really like exert their zone defense. So they're quite good at that. They've got a lot of big bodies, so obviously they're quite good at it. But we just had to break that down. So we were finding that body. We were getting those short, sharp balls. The weather was pretty good. I don't know if you noticed it. The wind started picking up a bit too. So we were strict on our balls, our short balls. So and it works well for us. Even though we've still got some good size to our team, we've got fast little players, which it just works so great against Wagga Tigers. Yeah.
I want to get your opinion on this because I have a different opinion on when I thought the game was won. I thought the game was won around about probably halfway through the second and maybe halfway in the third quarter, where I thought it was just that momentum where you just started to pull away from them, and of course their frustration was just, I could tell their frustration was just getting to a point that, it was just starting to break. I guess, when did you felt the game was won?
Very interesting that you said that, because my coach would definitely agree with you on that one. Just in that end of that second quarter, we just got a bit of a run. It was only I think we only went up a couple, but she was like sold on it, and I'm someone that needs to be up by like 10 to even be slightly comfortable. But I don't know, I just felt like we got our groove definitely in that third quarter. I think the third quarter was my favorite because they still were playing, like they still thought they had it in the bag, whereas heading into that fourth quarter, they were slowly dropping their heads, which is hard to keep your head in the game when it's been a long, hot day like that. But I don't know, I just like when there's more fight in them. So, but yeah, it was good. I don't know, it was wasn't so nerve-wracking on me and stuff like that. So I wasn't fussed that they I don't know, not dropped their heads, but just lost that fight they had in the first three quarters. Yeah.
I don't know how the celebrations was like after the game, because it was on display on the live stream. Now, tell us, what was the reactions like when you heard the final whistle?
I was over the moon. Because I didn't even see the timer get up, so I was just running and hugging. I do sometimes forget my my own size, so I do run and jump at people and nearly take them out. But that's all right. They get excited. It was interesting because I think a couple of those girls have won grand finals, but I don't know, it wasn't something at this level. So it was good for them. And yeah, I was wild. I think a lot of the girls got around each other. So it was just a good feeling. I don't even know what was going through my head at the time, but I was happy.
Have you watched it back since?
Yeah, so our Mango page, Instagram page, had filmed all the last couple seconds of the game, and I rewatched it and I was like, oh, I feel terrible that I nearly took out half my team. But, it was good. I definitely saved that video.
Yes, yes, we've seen that. But have you actually watched the full game, like the whole full game?
No, actually we haven't. We were planning to do that, I think maybe later this week if that happens. But no, actually I know that some people really like going back over their stuff and looking at it, and it can be very beneficial. But yeah, I think I'd definitely just watch it just to relive that moment again.
Fair enough. Well, I know we shared it on our social media, so I know a lot of people watched it. So I guess for Yuri, how special was that to see a lot of people, especially from down here in Melbourne, who unfortunately we're still stuck in lockdown as we speak, get to watch you in action, especially your Falcons family?
Yeah, no, it was so special. I had lots of texts and messages from, people in Melbourne, people from my like teammates from Falcons. So it was definitely, did get me going. It was actually the whole tickets all over, like all the tickets that were released were actually sold out in 30 minutes after the release time. So that just blows my mind. And there was quite a few tickets released. So yeah, no, I guess everyone just wants to get around you, and people were messaging me saying, sorry, I couldn't get a ticket. So yeah, I'm just very special to have such a supportive, people around me.
Did you get a chance to hold the trophy? I think you did, if I saw it on the live stream.
Yes, no, I held that trophy tight even that night. I got a couple drinks out of it too, so very special, and it was wild. I'm so privileged to share it with my teammates. Definitely and the cup survived the weekend too, which is always good.
I was just about to ask about that, about the cup. And I have to ask, where's the cup at right now?
I'm pretty sure, no, and not my coach, the assistant coach has it in safekeeping. I think she's just had to tweak it up, maybe tighten some of the screws and stuff to make sure it stays in one piece. But it's ready for our big presentation night in a month or so. So yeah.
So it sounds like the cover had a lot of work done to it by the sounds of that. Let's talk a bit about, you mentioned about obviously your coaches there just a moment. Tell us a bit about your Premiership coaches there at the Goannas.
Yeah, no, so I was, so lucky to jump into a team that has such great coaches. So the main coach, she's been out there for maybe 5 years. She actually comes from Adelaide. So she's worked in with like those higher leagues, and she just really enjoys working with like the younger age group type thing coming up and through. So our team's perfect for her, having a lot of young players. Muz Hope is her name. So she does a lot of the work, and then she has our assistant coach, which is Lisa Reynoldson. So her daughter, Ash, plays GS, goal shooter in our team. So they work together so well, just a bit of a dynamic duo. And I don't know, just even their personalities just complement each other. And yet they just get each other on a whole new level. It's really amazing to watch them work together. But yeah, they both have different teaching techniques too. So if you don't understand one, the other one can kind of help you out if you need more clarification. Just lovely. So lucky that I got the opportunity to play under them.
Now you mentioned about a month it's almost about a month and a half ago since we last had you on the show. Obviously, your normal local team, unfortunately, obviously that competition folded and for this year because due to COVID. Obviously, that's why you made the journey to the Goannas in particular. For you, was that a hard decision to make? And especially going into a completely new team that I'm assuming you haven't had a chance to play with before. And did you vision yourself being in this situation now, all of a sudden winning a premiership?
No, honestly, if you told me about 6 months ago that I was going to play for Mangapla Goannas actually, and have a premiership cup in my hand, I would have just laughed, because this is way beyond me. I would have had, I guess it's just taking the positives out of a pretty negative situation, I guess, that COVID's kind of put us in. But I would have loved to play for my home team. Unfortunately, I wasn't given that opportunity. So it happens, I guess. It's a lot of work for the little clubs. A lot of people have to put in like volunteer time and stuff. So I wasn't going to push anyone to kind of get it up and running. But I guess I'm not too angry that they have folded, meaning that I was happy to head over to Mangapla and give them a go instead. So I'm not, it's not the end of the world, but we'll just go with it, I guess.
How was I guess did any of your teammates at Henty had a chance to message you and say their congratulations?
Yeah, no, it come up in our like Facebook feed and stuff that 4 years ago I had won a premiership with Henty and some of the girls there. So they were all giving me love, and we were having a little like a bit of a reunion, I guess you could say. So it was so good, and they all messaged me saying good luck, wish we could be there with you, but unfortunately not. So yeah, I guess that's just your little local towns do that, or just, yeah, they'll get around anyone and everyone.
Going into 2021, which team are you going to end up playing for?
Honestly, I wish I could answer that, Will. I have no idea. At this stage, it'll just be any team that is actually playing, because I think that was the hardest thing this year. There just wasn't very many teams playing. But I think I would be happy with, as long as I'm playing, I'll be happy. But I would definitely love to maybe see if Falcons might take me on again. But the Goannas said they're always happy welcoming me with open arms. So, well, we've got some tough decisions to make.
Talk a bit about your Goannas teammates, your Premiership teammates there. I want you to name all of them and tell us maybe in one sentence about all of them.
So we starts off with Ash Reynoldson. So she's our goal shooter. Was not a goal shooter at the start of the year. I was meant to be the goal shooter, and she was meant to be a wing defense or any other position because she can play it. She's a 15-year-old that outdoes most of the A grade players that she comes up against. And the thing is that netball is actually her second sport. She's a touch player, so she plays very high levels in touch. So yeah, she's a very agile, quick player. Amazing to watch. Next we have our GA, who's Sophie Fawns. She actually has just made for the under-17s Australian squad for netball. So she is just amazing. There's not a lot to her, but she's so strong, and just her aerial, she can out-jump anyone. It's amazing to watch her. We go to so our wing attack is Michaela Cole, who is also our captain of our team. She's not very tall, but she's quick, she's fast, and she doesn't stop running. So such an amazing player to watch. And she just brings that bit of, I don't know, she can really control the game with, how she's feeling actually really reflects on the team, which is something that quite heavy to hold on yourself, but she seems to carry it really well. Our centre court is Rachel Addison. She's one of our older ones, our mums of the team. So she looks after us on and off the court. But she's been playing for a couple of years, and just the knowledge she has is amazing. And she just shares it with all of us, and she actually has control of the game too. That's why we kind of love her in the centre there. We head out to WD, so it swaps over a bit, mostly Claire Wallace. So there's two Wallaces on our team, Phoebe and Claire. For the first 4 weeks, I couldn't tell them apart, but that's all right. Just great players too. So they're both only 17 and 18. I'm going to say that, give or take a couple, but just great players too. Fast on their feet. They're just so smart for the age they are. They're so smart and can read a play amazingly. Just so willing to learn, which is something just a skill you need to have if you want to continue your netball pathways. I kind of jump in there at goal defense, and then sitting back in goalkeeper, we have Shannon Russell swapping up between Ruby Gillard. So Shannon is 26, so she's a bit of a local at the Mango Club. Everyone loves her, she's a bit iconic really. She's just great. She watches that play really well. Her overhead, she's quite strong with the overheads, but she's just quick. So I love watching her. Very smart player, reads that play. And same with Ruby. So she's younger too. I'll say 17. And has that willingness to learn as well. So it makes it so great to come up, playing in the circle with us, with her. She just wants to learn, so she'll take on all the feedback you do and try her best to execute it on the court. But that kind of sums it up. So I think that was 9 of us. Yeah. So amazing team. Some players switch here and there, but it mostly sticks around that, and it seemed to work. It's got us the flags.
You mentioned, obviously you mentioned the whole team, but by the sounds of it, it's a pretty young team there in the A grade team at Goannas. There's going to be a lot more netball coming out of that team in the next couple of years, and hopefully more premierships coming the way by the sounds of it. I guess how special to be part of a pretty young team and obviously being so successful in the open age groups.
Yeah, no, it's amazing. Well, what is it? 4 of them are actually still eligible for the under 17s division. And if they are winning flags in A grade, then the amount of flags they would have taken out in the 17s division. But like I said, they want to keep improving their skills. So they've said, yes, we're happy to move up and play in this higher senior grade. Just watching them improve after a 6-week season, their improvements was amazing. So having a full, maybe even pre-season in there too, and an actual season, they're just an outstanding team. That hats off to them, as well as their coaches, because having those young players mentally being in the game can actually be a bit of a struggle. So hats off to the coaches that are still able to keep them learning and keep them really engaged. Yeah, good team though.
Obviously winning a premiership. I'll get you to show the medal in just a moment, not just yet. I guess mention about the celebrations afterwards. Tell us, how was the celebrations afterwards? And was it a little bit mixed for the fact that the A reserves fell just short?
Yeah, no, so wild times they were. I don't know. I obviously felt very bad for them because it sucks. Someone's got to win, someone's got to lose, but they all got around us. They were still so happy to be out there celebrating with us, which is so good. Obviously they're not the best day they could have had, but the fact that they can still, celebrate with us was amazing. We were actually lucky enough, the Mangapla Goannas had their reserves football in as well, who ended up getting the win as well. So it was celebrations all night, and didn't stop until early this morning actually.
I'm going to get you to show that lovely medal that you got around your neck.
Here we go. So I don't know if you can see that. So we've got the AFL Riverina 2020 Gallagher Championship A grade premiers. So this one, wearing it nice and proud tonight. If you can see that.
Yeah, we can just see that. See now what you've achieved. Now you do mention you actually also won a premiership at Henty as well a couple of years ago, and obviously you won this year. I know both of them are really special to you. You see the similarities in regards to the team-wise, like in the way the team was structured and the way the team played on the court.
Yeah, right. Well, still no, the team that I won, so I won in an under 16s 1-2, but I also won in a B grade 1 for Henty, and I was the young one coming in and they were all telling me what to do. So there was still so different actually between the two teams. I guess I was the one that was being told what to do and the one that was still trying to learn and stuff like that. And obviously they were all mums with their kids and stuff like that. That was their last kind of year, and then they were heading out, they were going to call it after that. So still quite similar. Even the team vibe that they all brought was very different.
Throughout the season, I know obviously you've been training with your team and making that big journey to training and obviously to games in particular, which I think is like a 2-hour drive or more than that. In some locations you would have to go to, I guess. And I know you'll also train online virtually with the Falcons because I've seen you on those training sessions. Yes. I guess how you managed to do all of them, and I guess has the Falcons training helped you throughout this year in the local comp?
Definitely wouldn't have been able to do this season without Falcons. I don't know, just those little things, even though they're an hour sessions and stuff like that, I think they're incredible. I'm still trying to figure it out. So I normally have really bad ankles and normally have to be strapping them for all my games. I didn't strap my ankles once this season, and all I can think about, the only thing that I do differently is I don't do the trainings with shoes on. I kind of rely on, and I don't know if that's strengthened my muscles. Instead of my muscles relying on shoes to support it, it's maybe strengthening through, I don't know. That's what I'm thinking. So I'm like, I have to hats off to Falcons for that. But I don't know. Like I've been to every single Falcons session, even the Friday night ones, which my coach from Mangapla doesn't quite agree with. She thinks that I need to be a bit more fresher, but I don't know. And it's worked all year. So I did it all the way up to the grand final and it worked. But yeah, so it's kept me busy and I've had a lot of free time. Obviously just doing all my uni and stuff online. I've got heaps of time for training and making sure my nutrition's good and I guess recovery as well. So I've just loved it all, mushed it all together.
You did mention the team was pretty young. They're the Goannas. So the question I'm going to ask you is, have you convinced any of them to come down to Melbourne and join you at the Falcons?
Oh, I'm going to have to make up a plan, a full run sheet of what I'll say and stuff. I think they're like, as much as it's really good to hang around and support a local club. I think they're all very talented and need to exploit that talent. So I think if I can hire a bus out for the season, we might be able to bring a whole busload of us over there, play our game, come back. But yeah, I don't know. Even if it's not at Falcons, I would definitely try and I would highly suggest to them to make to that next level. But I'll definitely put in a good word for Falcons, I think.
Very good, very good. And of course, one last one. Now, we mentioned about the similarities in premierships, and I know that obviously winning, two completely separate premierships. Which premiership means to you the most?
Oh, you've given me a good one. I don't know. It's a tough one. There's both different situations for both, I guess. Being the Henty one, I was just surrounded by people I have grown up with. So that was something unreal that not very many people get to experience. But Mango, I guess, being a bit older, actually realizing what a premiership is and the hard work that goes into it. And not everyone gets to win a premiership in their lifetime. So that I've obviously realized that now being older. So I really took that on. I don't know. I don't think that a lot of people have mentioned that it was only 6 weeks. So kind of not really a well-earned premiership, but I don't know. I worked hard in those 6 weeks and I thought that we really gave it everything. So I actually think the Mangapla one has meant a lot to me. So I think I might go with that one.
I can't finish the interview on a hard-hitting question like that. So I'm going to finish with some light-hearted questions as well. Now, tell us, who had the most embarrassing moment on the court in this past 9 weeks of the season, and what was it?
Oh, they've because our league has kind of been the only one that's been running in our area, we've had a lot of news reports and people interviewing and photographers coming out. So I obviously can't show you right now, but some of the face expressions that have popped up on front, on the news and on just front pages of newspapers, they're next level. It's they're trying to make the worst face possible. So yeah, no, we've definitely given out a couple fines for a couple of girls that have made the covers of the news and stuff. But yeah, I couldn't nail it down to one girl. It'd either be Ash Reynoldson or we'll go with Michaela Cole. They can battle it out, but yeah, both pretty funny.
I'm assuming this doing this interview is a fine, is it?
Yes.
Don't worry. We'll pay for your fine.
Thank you. I really appreciate it.
No worries. Now, who's the comedian in the team?
The more that it's gone on, the more that I'm figuring out. But I honestly think to the coaches count, because I think it would go to those two.
Now, considering how much the celebration was throughout the last 2 days or so, the question I'm going to ask you is, who's the best singer and dancer in the team?
It depends who's judging, because it could go to a couple of them. I definitely think I'm up there, not gonna lie. Between I think Ash is in there again, and maybe Claire. Yeah, they're young and they're normally quite like quiet and reserved, but yeah, the Premiership has got them out and about. They're wild.
Now, I know there's this thing called TikTok. Did any of that got used in the last 2 days? And if so, who used it the most?
Oh, see, I've made a pact to myself that I'm not going to ever do a TikTok video.
Yes,
I'm just.
you say that?
Yeah. But it did come out. I think actually the boys had it out more than we did. Yeah, I know. They one of them's apparently famous, so he was trying to get us all doing it. But yeah, so we'll just give that one to the boys.
Oh, I can't believe that. There you go. I've learned something new on this show. Now, you mentioned about the celebrations and all that. Now, what was the most played song on the playlist at celebrations?
It's got to be our Mango song. What do we call it? Team song. It's Monkeys by. So it's a song that they've changed, and it's terrible. It's not one that you yell at the top of your lungs. It's one that you get to sit around a campfire and get your guitar out. Like it doesn't sound like a football song, but yes, it was definitely played the most.
So good old country style, by the sounds of that.
Yeah, pretty much.
Love it. What was the silliest moment in celebrations?
You have to see it. So a bowling ball had come out. I don't know where they got a bowling ball from. And for some reason they thought that a bowling ball you'd be able to kick it like you kick a football, you know? So the guy goes out to kick it to one of the guys, drops the ball, and like, I need to show you the video. It's unreal. Fully just front flips, like face plants. He's getting his ankle checked out today because it was really fat and looked very broken. But yeah, so that was probably up there.
It's clear that bowling balls and football does not mix at all.
No, it's not at all.
So we'll finish up with this one last one. You mentioned about the fine system, and obviously you're going to get one for doing this interview. So the question I'm going to ask you is, who copped the most fines throughout the year, and what was the silliest ever fine that was given?
I think Michaela Cole ended up losing the most amount of money. So what were some of the ones? It was like if you rocked up to training in you're allowed to rock up in your Mango gear, but if you come up in any of your other gear, that was a huge fine. Also, being yeah. Oh, I do have a list of them, but I think it was, yeah, just the social media one gets everyone, because people think the social media people obviously love doing it, so everyone just cops it big time. But yeah, the money will definitely go towards a very eventful day out for us girls, so it'll be well enjoyed.
Okay, so just to finish off, now you just mentioned about the social media people. So all that, thing that's popped up on the club's social media, did each of you get a fine for that? For that good old team photo with, I think, didn't the ball fall into someone's head during that thing as well, during the team photo?
Yes, no, we all definitely have to put in for that one. That one's just no matter what. So, no, that was good. But yeah, the ball, we all thought it was actually stuck in there, but it was not. So that's all right. We were all crazy and we're all running off adrenaline. So, no, we'll cop that fine.
I asked, who's that person who caught the Falcon?
That one's Rachel Addison, the mum. So.
In it, and it's actually posted on our social media, and of course you're next to it too, so on that photo, so I do that's why I wanted to ask you about that one. But Vashti, Vashti, thank you so much for giving up your time to join us. From all of us from Smash FM, congratulations on the premiership on the weekend, and we can't wait to definitely have you back here in Melbourne, playing for the Falcons, hopefully in 2021, and hopefully another premiership maybe coming up in 2021 for you, hopefully.
Definitely. That is definitely happening. Nah, thanks, Will. I appreciate it. Thanks, Smash FM, for having me. Appreciate it.
No worries. And that's Vashti there, joins from the MCUE Goannas Football Netball Club, and of course won the A-grade premiership against the Wagga Tigers last weekend. There's more on the Smash Sport Show right after this. Don't go away here on Lockdown Monday.